Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Neeraj Goyal with one other episode of Coach Speak by R. And as you already know, that we always come up with certain personalities who is doing great in their field. And this podcast is specifically based for anybody who is into coaching, training, consulting, mindfulness, and the technology side of it, and the B2Bs. And today we have a personality who have an experience of more than 3 decades talking about the mindfulness and the life coaching and soft skill communications and specific to students and companies and individuals. Very, very vast background talking about, the empathetic coaching as well. So please welcome and help me, take this podcast forward while we having a very candid discussion with Miss Simran, Harsimran Kaur. Hi, Harsimran ji, how are you?
I am very well. Thank you, Mr. Neeraj. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. And for such
Great.
a kind introduction. Thank you so much. Kind words.
I didn't do much. I just talked about you on the name, so it's fine. Great. So, Harsimran ji, before we try and get into any discussion about what you do, how you do, and your purpose and all of that, I people would definitely want to know how did you start? Where have you started? Why this? And how was your childhood while you were doing it and your education and all of that? So talk about something, the early days which you remember on a very higher side.
Sure. Thank you so much. Basically, if I talk about my childhood, today, I'm an educationist. I'm
Ji.
heading a school. It is all thanks to the school that I've been to. Honestly,
Oh,
till date, I may be over 50 years old now, but whenever I'm looking at solutions in my present day work, I look back to my school days. That's how amazing my school was. And I'm so thankful and grateful to the kind of education that I got. I was in Delhi, right, and in GHPS India Gate Guru Harshan Public School, and I owe everything that I am today to my schooling, honestly. So I grew up in a very beautiful school, got education in a very nice school. So that's it, and whatever I'm doing today in my field, I think it's all I'm deriving that learning from there. It was
lovely,
very, very inspirational.
lovely.
So,
Yeah, the schooling absolutely plays a very, crucial role while you grow,
it
and it has a
does.
very great impact on your mind at that time, at that early age. So whatever you do at that time, you carry on in a
You are such an
form.
at an impressionable age, and the kind of
Yeah,
teachers that you encounter, they sort
yeah,
of define your path without you knowing that. Teachers can
right.
impact you in a way in which, like, we have no clue. So
Mm-hmm.
that is how I felt that I was molded by my teachers. So it
Great.
just became my aspiration to be in this line. So I did not even get to know when and how.
Happens. Great. So let's talk about something on a on a purposeful life which you are living right now. So as we spoke earlier as well about go miles. So you're taking people to go miles with intellectual mindfulness, coaching, training, health, and life. And I also know that you do a lot of IELTS training as well. You prepare people for that.
That's right.
So all of this all together as a as a mix of so many things. How does Go Mile started and what's the aim?
Go Miles. So, the name itself, I wanted to start something of my own which would help individuals go miles, not just literally. I mean, literally also. Like, these days children are traveling across the globe for higher education, for settling down, for everything. So,
Right.
and for that, how we need IELTS and PTEs and TOEFLs and all. So that was one go miles, literal go miles. You can go miles with the kind of coaching that you get here. The
Yeah.
second is like you can go miles in your career, in in your personal growth, in your personal journey, in your relationship journey, in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Right.
mean, it is a metaphorical thing, so you can go miles in everything. And the the logo of my company, it was I thought of it in a very different manner. There's a bird in my logo, if you've
Yes,
noticed that.
yes,
It
yes.
is the bar-tailed godwit. That
Ah,
bird is known for its longest non-stop
flight.
flights
Yeah,
across the world, right? So that
yeah.
is how I want the people to be. Never to give up, embrace challenges in life, and just go miles. That is how the whole
So,
thing came about.
so beautifully you have put it. So what all services, or what kind of activities you perform in Go Miles, and how are you supporting people? So if you can put some light on that.
So Go Miles basically has a couple of verticals, I would say. One, as we talked about, for competitive exams like IELTS and TOEFLs and other competitive exams. And the second part is coaching, of course, life coaching. Specifically, my niche is ladies, women, right? So mindfulness, emotional resilience, emotional well-being, and their career. So basically one part is for them, and then I'm also a teacher trainer. I'm a corporate and a teacher trainer. So training is something which comes very naturally to me. So I feel that I really feel very connected when I go out and conduct
Hmm.
workshops and do trainings.
Hmm.
And yes, I can also, like, I'm also into consulting, in consultancy for setting up
Right.
schools and all. So these are few verticals that I'm working with. That's it.
Good. Oh, this is too much to do at this stage. It's not pretty small thing, managing, the life coaching and school consulting as well, which you just talked about. So, what is the closest to your heart? Is it the coaching? Is it consulting? Is it IELTS, or what is it?
Coaching.
Which you enjoy the most?
Coaching.
Coaching, and to whom?
Coaching. Closest to my heart. The other things, like the school consultancies and the trainings, are a byproduct of my profile, I would say.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
they come without me actually sort of asking for it.
right.
But coaching is something like really, really close to my heart.
So, what kind of people, the age group, and what kind of coaching people should be coming to you?
I would say, as I said, ladies, any age group, right?
Uh-huh.
Because and students, of course. Students, no gender bias. There's no gender bias, as in a gender bias, but yes, I feel very connected to my own gender. That's how I put it.
So,
So
what is the
maybe.
common challenges they bring in while you speak to them most of the time?
Um, See, across this span of my career, I've
Hmm.
noticed, I have been handling teachers at school, parents, the mothers of all age groups, right? Right from kindergarten mothers to mothers of adolescents and of grade 11th and 12th. So I feel like, women, ladies, girls here, they go through so much of emotional turmoil most of the time, right? And there are issues. Sometimes there are relationship issues, sometimes there are financial health issues or career issues. I mean, there's so much happening in life. And so many times, all we need is a sympathetic ear, non judgmental, somebody who's like very non judgmental and would guide you in the right direction. What happens is a teenager is going through a problem. The first person the teenager would go to is a friend, a peer. But a child of that age, a youngster of that age, would be able to give an ear, but would not be able to really give the right guidance to the person. So I feel that when they come to an adult,
Hmm.
they not just get a sympathetic ear, but they also get the right kind of guidance. So that is where the coaching comes in. So
Right.
we can fight for so many things to our friends, but somebody
Hmm.
who knows us, somebody would always be, there would be a bias.
Right.
So when you have a third person who's not sort of related to you or not known to you, so that non-biased, non-judgmental approach is always helpful. That's how
Right,
I
that
feel.
brings a very different perspective to look at to that situation that time if somebody else is looking
Exactly.
at instead of the friends and family.
The
And then
affected
on
party.
top of
And
it, of course, you take it up with a angle of within the guiding perspective as well, because you're
exactly.
giving the ears to listen, but you're just non-judgmental at the same time. You're not
You're guiding
reacting to
it.
certain situation, but you are looking after how do we guide to make
Absolutely.
the things
Absolutely.
better. Right. Lovely, lovely. And then we get into your other streams, like which talks about your teacher training, and what kind of teachers are these, and what sort of trainings uh, are they? Is it common these days to train the teachers? Because these nowadays there are so much of different kind of educations for the educated treat teachers as well, and then they go for beyond certifications or something. So what kind of trainings is it? Intellectual or interpersonal or technical, or what kind of things are these?
See, there are trainings of all sorts there in the
Yeah.
market. So, when we talk about schools per se, like a CBSE school, so
Yeah.
CBSE has made trainings mandatory for all the educators, right? So, the capacity building programs, as they call them, are
Ah.
like a 50 hours training is mandatory for every CBSE school teacher. So,
Oh.
I'm an impaneled CBSE trainer. So
Ah.
we have to go out and train teachers of various schools. And as far as the subjects are concerned, so my subject personally is English. But
Uh-huh.
other than English, apart from English, I think I have trained on life skills, career guidance, art integration, value education,
Hmm.
NEP, NCF, learning outcomes and pedagogies, remodeled assessments. I mean, anything and everything under the sun. So it's been so long now, so many years, that all topics in all areas, but no other subject specific, only English. Obviously, I'm not competent enough to handle any other subject other than English. So that's how
No, you
training.
are, you are actually, but yeah. So teacher training, it's kind of an umbrella which you are trying to build up when it comes to the students, to females, women, making their life easy, non-judgmental. Then you're teaching the teachers as well, and you also given an insight of the 50 hours of training is must to have a CBSE teacher. So what kind of these small insights which you feel people should know for teachers, or anything, some kind of an interesting facts would you would like to share, if you know any or you recall?
So for teachers, I'm so sorry, but I didn't get the question. I mean, insight for the
So,
for teacher.
any facts and figures, interesting things which common man doesn't know, that the like
About
you
the
said about
teachers.
the 50 hours and all of those. So anything of that sort.
The common man does not know that the teacher's job is no longer what is used to call the easiest job on the earth. That attitude thing. Anybody doesn't want, like, they want to do something, but they don't want to spend too many hours. They can get into teaching. So
Yeah.
that mindset has to be changed now, because education sector has become more like a corporate sector these days. It's a
Uh,
very demanding job, and
hmm.
teachers, so much is at stake when a teacher enters a school compound.
Hmm.
We are handling children
Yeah.
of all age groups, and you cannot undermine the importance of a teacher. As I said in the beginning of this interview, teachers can impact your life
True.
in
True.
in a way in which you can't even fathom. So a teacher is a very important part of a child's journey in school. So I would request all the common people out there who do not know how the life of a teacher is, to at least give that kind of due respect to the teacher fraternity. Honestly.
I completely agree with that, because while we go to the parents teachers meeting, we see, so so what kind of pressure they are going through, and and then they have to pretend that everything is great, calm, shant, and
See,
then
Neeraj, I'll tell
so
you
many
one thing.
people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all come with our own baggages, right?
Yeah.
So we have
Yeah.
our own personal turmoils in life. We have our own problems. Everybody is fighting a battle out there. You
Hmm.
cannot name one person on the earth who has a rosy life, right? All
Correct.
of us has, each one of us has a problem. But as a teacher, when you enter the class, you have to leave that behind, because those children, you cannot take out your frustration on them in any which way. With each other in the family, we tend to do that. We take out a frustration on each other. We can
Hmm. Yeah,
throw,
yeah,
throw attitude or do whatever. But with children,
yeah.
no. You have to leave everything aside. You have to go with a smile. You have to sort of, deal with them in a very different way. So hats off to all the teachers out there. I mean,
That's
and the
that.
day you don't do that, you are creating a negative impact on the children. So we're playing havoc with their lives if we're not able to create that balance, the work-life balance.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. Now that's comes to the point where nowadays we see a lot of because of social media impact, we get to have access to certain newses which are not pleasant enough when it comes to the teacher trainings, or maybe the right kind of teachers are not there in the schools, and that are creating some kind of negativity around, and the kids are not happy, the schools are not performing. I'm not talking about the brand names, but commonly, this happens maybe the tier two, tier three cities, maybe uh, where there is a lot of gap in education as per se, and the teaching and the student quality. So I'm not sure how to put it. What kind of do you think there is a need of improving the qualitative teaching as well, the education system itself, or it's about the schooling, or it's about students getting changed as well because of so many influencing things going around them. So how does teachers should be balancing their lives with the technology and the influence of so much of things on students? I think that is actually creating a challenge for the qualitative teacher system.
Your voice is fluctuating
Now,
a lot. I'm not able to actually get the whole thing properly.
okay, sorry about that. So my question is, nowadays,
Hmm.
when there is so much of education things going on tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, we get to hear a lot of newses outbreaks about the teacher and student relation on multiple levels,
Hmm.
where the student is getting impacted, you know they are influenced by certain things in social media maybe, or the teachers are not qualified, the schools are not dignified enough, and but actually the education system and then creating the society, because it's building the society at the end of the day. So what is your take on this? So it's, who is to be blamed? Is it a collective issue? It's something which need to be done at the ground level or at the top level? How do you look at it?
I don't think anybody is to be blamed. I mean, there should be no blame game. First of all,
Hmm.
we're going through a very there's a lot of evolution happening. We're evolving, so
Yeah.
a lot of changes happening in the society, and we have to keep pace with that change. So
Right.
anywhere where one party lacks in sort of adapting to the change, the gap occurs. So these children these days, you can't blame them. They have so much of exposure, so much of exposure. If we were born in this era, only then we would have understood. I mean,
Yeah.
they take to this technology and this whole thing like fish to water. For us, we
Yeah.
are like just grappling to swim in the whole ocean. That's how
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see myself. So we have to constantly upgrade ourselves to sort of you know come at par with their level of understanding of the whole system, technologies
Hmm.
wise and social media wise and all, and the exposure wise. So as far as the lack of this thing, the quality in teaching and all that you were talking about, see, it is all very area specific, Neeraj.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you talked about tier one, tier two, tier three cities. So every area has its own challenges. Somewhere there are
Hmm.
demographic challenges, somewhere there are cultural challenges, I would say, but economic challenges. But every area is trying its level best these days to. Now, if you talk about a remote place, remote rural area, right? If you have the best of school infrastructure wise also, how would you get the teachers? Where would you get the teachers from the local area itself? If the
Mm-hmm.
teachers have had their education from, I would, not a very good school, if I would say, what have they learned? They have, whatever they have taught, they've learned, so they're not at fault. So these teacher trainings that I'm talking about, which cbse is trying to conduct, that is to bring some standardization in the quality of teachers.
Right.
That is a step towards that.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
it's
not
not that
everybody is having that access to reach to the CBSE level teaching quality, or maybe ICSC, or maybe state, or whatever. But there are
exactly.
there
So
are
state
people
boards
who
have
are
their own challenges. Yeah, ICSC
so.
would have their own system. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not conversant with those too much, because I have always worked with the CBSE framework, within
It's a
that
generic thing.
framework.
So yeah, we try and understanding about how tough the teacher life is to try learn something and then give it back
Try to
and make
deliver
sure
it
that, yeah,
to
of course.
somebody. Yes.
And then you're creating an impact and impression throughout the life to the student, that, and it's a big responsibility. People should know about it. And thanks to you as a teacher and a coach who is actually highlighting this, and anybody who is listening to this will be actually getting overwhelmed. Now, talk about something which talks, the one-to-one coaching which you do with the professional coaching for life coaches and the 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 females and the women. So, life coaching is something you use any techniques like NLP or anything, or it goes, it's directly coming from a heart, or how does it
It just
happen?
comes from the heart. I am an NLP practitioner, no doubt. Like, I'm a trained NLP
Yeah.
practitioner. But I
Mm.
feel that, when you're talking to a person, it just comes straight from the heart. Then
Yeah.
all techniques and everything flies out of the window. Like
Right.
they say,
Right.
once you get married, romance flies out of the window. So once you sit down for coaching, the techniques go out
Yeah.
of the window, right?
Uh,
So then
uh,
it is heart to heart connection. Then it
mhm.
is, like, it's just that the whole thought of, if you're able to bring a smile on a person's face, and if you're able to take away some stress or some worry from somebody's life, I think you should feel blessed and grateful for that. So that is how I feel. I feel very connected with people I coach. I mean, it's a blessing I think I
Yeah,
have.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure. So if you are enjoying what you do, I think you're doing great in that sense. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of a learning for everybody who is listening to you. And the workshops, what sort of these workshops, and how long does it for? Is it for, and is it one-to-one workshops or one-to-many, or what kind of workshops are these? If if you would like to
Workshops are
know.
one to many. There are, like, a standard workshop. If it is a private training program, then it can have as many teachers of the school as, like, they could be 100 or 150, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it is a cbse thing, that it is constrained, like it is restrained to a 60 teachers and two trainers. So it could be a one day, that means 8 to 9 hours, or it could be a 2 days, morning
Right.
till evening, right? So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
activities and a lot of learning happening. It's a both way thing. You also learn so much when you are
Yeah.
conducting workshops. we
Yep.
come we come back having learned so much more ourselves. And that is another thing, when I go out for these training sessions, the kind of, the diaspora of teachers that I meet, that again, that has ignited this whole, I would say, passion in me for coaching. Because when I meet so many kind of people,
Yeah.
teachers,
Yeah.
and listen to their share of problems and concerns, and I felt that I could sort of, my advice was helping them. That is what, that sort of brought me closer to this path that I've
Yeah. That
chosen.
inspires you to do more and more while you do so. Absolutely.
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 So one thing led to the other. It wasn't planned.
Yeah. Yeah.
The calling just came. Yeah.
How beautiful. So, guys, so since we can go on this podcast to talk about all this, but there is a time limitation. So,
Right.
we try to conclude with what kind of a message you would like to give to teachers, trainers, coaches, or maybe the students or women entrepreneurs, that which you always believe that this they should be following and they should come. This is something which is handy to make them, go live and go miles.
Something which I would say everybody should follow is, I personally am completely fascinated with butterflies. The transformation of a caterpillar to butterfly is phenomenal.
That
So
metaphors.
I
Mm.
I want everybody to believe in themselves, believe in the changes they're going through, embrace the challenges, never ever fear the obstacles, and the results are going to be amazing. They're going to be beautiful, like a
Just go
butterfly.
on, whatever it takes.
The
Go on, and
transformation
don't stop.
always is going to lead you to a better you.
Better you.
That is
Absolutely.
my
Wow.
mantra of life.
Exactly.
Completely. I believe in rising like a phoenix from the ashes.
Great. With this thought, I think people who are listening to this is actually getting, the vibe out of you. And guys, and ladies, gentlemen, children, whoever, the women, men, who is listening to this podcast would agree that, there is a lot to be discussed with Harsimran ji.
Agreed.
And the easiest way to reach out to Harsimran ji is the website. You can visit go-miles.com. You can set up a call. There is so many different things to look at, or you may be directly calling them. We will put the email ID here. So I would request, if you have any sort of uh, you know things to discuss with Harsimranji regarding your career, life, education, IELTS, school, anything which you can think of, there is something which you definitely can expect out of Harsimranji to help you out. It's not about me bragging about, the sales and all of that. It's absolutely genuine. The personality sitting next to me is, mind boggling. So she carries a lot of experience, expertise, credibility in the market, and I always recommend her to do, to the people, to make sure that they reach out to her and do something with her. So with this thought, I am very grateful to Harsimranji to be part of this conversation today on Code Speak
In
by Air.
fact, it is my honor to be here. Thank you, Neeraj. Thank you for having me.
Lovely, lovely. So nice of you once again to meet. And this is it. So guys, once again, thank you everyone for watching this particular episode. I'm sure you enjoyed watching it while I was talking to Harsimranji. I did exactly the same. I was also enjoying the discussion. So till then, uh, let's go for the next episode anytime soon with new personality. And you please stay tuned to Co Speak by R on RDMR channel on our YouTube, and you can watch this kind of an episode and this particular episode very anytime soon, and you will get to see the promotions going out. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this, and thank you, Harsimranji, once again for being part of this.
Thank
You
you for having
guys,
me.
please take care of yourself. Enjoy your
You,
day and your life. Jai Hind.
Jay.